Are your customer acquisition costs too high? Lifetime values too low? Are you uncertain if your communication strategies are helping or hurting the efficiency and effectiveness of your marketing efforts? Welcome to the Continuous Revenue Marketer podcast, where the most influential marketers in the world are sharing their insights and lessons on the critical topics they and their chief executives must address daily. How to drive consistent business growth by delivering more revenues through profitable acquisition and customer lifetime value maximization strategies. What you'll hear by listening to this podcast are the actual strategies and tactics our marketing experts are using to achieve their critical missions. Hi, I'm Russell Kern, CEO and founder of Kern and Omnicom Agency, and I'm joined with my co-host and producer, Elliot Dennis. And today I'm exceptionally excited to welcome to our podcast, Marco Scognamiglio. I'm sure I said that wrong, Marco, even though we practiced. So I'm going to let you help clarify. And Marco, who I've known for over a dozen years, is the global CEO of the RAPP Network, a global agency with the Omnicom Precision Group. And I'm really honored, Marco, that you're giving us our time. We've known each other a long time, and it's always a joy in our conversation. So let's just get started with the proper pronunciation of your name, just for fun.
Okay, no problem, Russell. No, you're a long time. Scognamiglio.
Scognamiglio. What a beautiful name.
Don't pronounce the G's, and it rolls off the tongue.
Well, thank you very much. So, Marco, how about for our audience, which are chief marketers, just a little bit about your journey to the role of global CEO of RAPP and the network. How'd you get here?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And thank you for the time as well for your side. It's 22 years at RAPP, and, I've been very fortunate. I'm responsible for the RAPP brand across multiple agencies globally, and obviously the independent brands, great brands like yourself at Kern. And, I've had almost 8-9 different roles at RAPP over the last 22 years. And I've been very fortunate from working, from Scotland, Edinburgh, London to the United States. And I've had opportunity. And I think the key point there really is I've been lucky enough to work for people who've, recognized the need to give people with leadership potential and desire opportunity to do things different after a certain period of time. And, gone from opportunity to opportunity, and I've loved every bit of it, and still do today.
That's wonderful. So I know we spoke just the other day. I'm going to give you two sides of the coin. What makes you a successful leader? I mean, I know because I love working with you. And then the second piece of the coin is, what have been some of the setbacks that you had to overcome on your journey? So let's talk about success first.
Yeah, no, I think I think in our business, and I think just generally in marketing, is knowing what's really important for success, being absolutely sure you have clarity on that. And I think particularly if I look at the agency side, it's knowing that, it's not about the agency. That's what it's not about. It's knowing that your success is dependent on your client's business being successful and helping them ultimately beat their competitors hand down. As you talk about, continuous revenue growth. And a dreadful trait, I think, sometimes of our industry, of marketing generally, is talking about, ourselves. And I think, clients employ us to partner, help them be better, and ultimately drive more top line growth for them. And knowing that is why we're employed as a business gives real clarity to focus. And I think that's important for certainly leadership today. And I think that's single-mindedly kind of where I focus, if you like, as a leader. In terms of setbacks, it's interesting. I was thinking about this the other day because someone else asked me a similar question. And I've been fortunate that I haven't had too many setbacks. And I do believe, or we'll come on to generally one, is that it's because of knowing what's important to your business, which is helping our clients be successful. That's ultimately what's important, because we will get hired or fired by that, as simple as that. And if, when I've had a setback, it's because we've lost a piece of a big pitch, when I genuinely believe, heart and heart, I know we could have done a brilliant job for that client. And as long as I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, I know what we did was through understanding their business and their clients, we would have been successful. And that always picks you up, because you generally did what you believed was right. And that allows you to pick up the ball, a bit like in rugby. You know, you get a big, ugly, fat tackle. You're on the floor. This monster's running all over you. And you get up and you pick up the ball and you go again. So it's a bit like that. And I think as long as you still have said to yourself, I really generally did do what was right for our client's business, that's fine. And if you don't, then you reflect on it and you change tack. So I think it goes back to this piece, single-mindedly knowing what's important for success of your business.
So Marco, you sit in London. And
Yeah.
as the global CEO, you get a chance to see literally around the world.
Yeah.
So I think it would be interesting as we're looking in the new year is what are you seeing from a global perspective? What are the worries? I mean, we have been through incredible pandemic and world change and supply change, but you're hearing it around. So maybe you could share a global view of what clients are telling you and what they want from their agencies.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's a great question, actually. So what I'd say is very consistent is, and I was just talking yesterday to someone who runs our network in Asia, and it's no different a conversation I'm having with a CMO here in the US or in the UK, which is this need to deliver digitally enabled personalized marketing at an individual level. I mean, it is absolutely unanimous, even across all of Asia and in the US. There is this need for personalized marketing, which is digitally enabled. Now, it's actually in the US, there's still very much a need for personalized marketing in maybe what we kind of argue is more traditional media, but certainly this need for personalized marketing at an individual scale is prevalent everywhere. And what's also extremely consistent, and this is what I love about it, there's more consistency in needs than ever before, is that brands all over the globe, and regardless of sector, at various points on the maturity curve when it comes to delivering personalized marketing at scale. And therefore, what we're seeing across all markets is need for, if you like, strategic consultancy to help navigate the complexity of this requirement and to make it simple. And also with it, use cases which show me that the client that you've done it before. So an old narrative that someone a few years ago said to me, which I've never forgotten, which is, don't tell me you're a comedian. Stand up and tell me a joke and make me laugh. Show me that you can do it. Don't bullshit me. Show me that you can do it. But it is that's what we're seeing consistently everywhere. And it was just on a conversation yesterday. And in Asia, what's interesting there is because they haven't never really had that traditional media platform, they are straight off from day one, trying to enable everything digitally in terms of personalized experiences.
Elliot, do you want to drill down on a question from
Yeah,
Marco?
that's actually a great jumping off point. Something we've been observing as well as in a lot of our communications. So Marco, do you feel there's any market that's the leader right now? I know with the US kind of behind some other markets when it comes to standardized data privacy laws and such, and data being such a big component and the trust of that to kind of fuel these personalized experiences. Do you think in Asia or Europe is ahead of the curve when it comes to delivering on these personalized experiences?
Yeah, I do. And you know what, it's actually one of the, something else we could jump onto as well is kind of the why. And yeah, so definitely in new markets, which are really just kicking off into digital personalized marketing, and smaller markets where there is no legacy in terms of big organizational structures. They're creating structures for today's new world of marketing, or even, startups as well, when they haven't got the legacy of the big organizations. So I think definitely in some of the Asian markets, which are just kind of starting off, or in some cases on the marketing journey, they're able to create an organizational design which is be fit for today's marketing and create data infrastructures with engagement like in Salesforce from Adobe from day one, as opposed to the big organizations having now to bring these into the organization. So definitely in some of the newer markets, but also across the world where we have the new entrepreneurial companies, starting up and looking to deliver that personalization. So definitely in Asia, seeing significantly quicker progress, but also I think across the globe with entrepreneurial startups, we're seeing that to happen.
So Elliot, if you don't mind, I want to be the devil's advocate, which is, hey, is not personalized marketing just CRM? Like from you and I have been in the quote customer relationship management business our whole careers, but so what's the big deal here?
Yeah, so I agree with you. It's like, I remember a few years ago, integration was the new word, and buzzwords before that. And, it is ultimately, it is that. I think the difference now is we have the opportunity to create. I don't dislike the term personalization at scale. And the word I don't like is scale, because scale sounds like the old term, well, let's just direct mail everyone, okay? So for me, it's about personalization, personalized marketing with nuances. And really, it's how you use personalization at an individual level is where the magic is, because that's what creates the nuances and the individual and the differentiation. So personalization, yes, it is CRM, but it gives us an opportunity to be a little bit more nuanced in terms of how we talk to people in the right moments of time. And that's where the opportunity really, really is. So yes, it is CRM. And by the way, clients still today use the word CRM. I would say 50% of briefs that we get globally or locally say CRM brief.
Yeah, I don't know that language is going to. We're just trying to change from CRM to customer relationship to continuous revenue, because in the end, isn't that what they really want to have happen from their market?
Totally. And where the magic really comes in. So okay, that's fine, but then how do you do it? How do you make sure your personalized marketing or CRM is going to be more successful in acquiring, retaining the customers than my competitors are going to be doing it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that means we have to get smarter and smarter in terms of how we utilize data, understand individuals, and then optimize that data.
So I'd like to I'm going to build on that for a second. And Elliot, maybe you can then set up the why and the cases. But, Marco, from our perspective, this personalization is about understanding the neuroscience and the neuromarketing, because that's where Kern comes from, of inspiring the individual to action. We are both old school direct response marketers. We learned from Caples and Cobbs and Stone or Ogilvy, and they had a bunch of rules. But now all those rules are measured, which is how do we stimulate the mind to take the action? And so the personalization isn't just Marco or Elliot, it's understanding what your pain and personal need is and gain, such that your mind, we as the marketer kind of awaken you to the message and get efficiency and effectiveness by the behavior. And so I do think there's a level of understanding. It's not what really does personalization mean. And the Kern perspective is applying the neuroscience to it all.
No, I agree. And that's why I like to hang up myself personally on the word nuances, because that's what you do. It's just those nuances, even within the individual. So, and that's again, back to, it's how you do it, not saying that you do it. And what you're doing there, you're continuously striving to find a better way all the time to understand that person, depending on their state of mind during that day.
Yeah.
And that's where the differentiation, and that's where, I think it's really important for marketeers to recognize that. And the danger is we're building all these data warehouses, we have all this data and we can just go. Well, actually, the danger is we're going back in time. We don't do that, because we'll end up just doing everything at scale, not creating any relevancy. So I 100% agree and love what you're doing there.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, Elliot, over to you. Did you have a question?
One of the things I personally love about personalization is it kind of ties into RAPP's mission statement that you stand for individuality, you stand for the individuals. Each personalized experience is unique to each individual. And so we've talked a lot about MarTech being a big driving force behind the personalization trend. Don't want to call it trend, really the future, because now we finally solved the marketing holy grail of being able to deliver the right message to the right person at the right time on the right channel at scale, or through all the nuances as you call it. So my question is, can you give some tips to global CMOs, and without giving away names, let's just maybe say a global automaker brand out of Michigan in the US versus a global automaker brand out of Germany, and how they have to kind of implement now these MarTech stacks to be able to strive for individuality on a global scale when they are in so many markets. So can you give any tips to those audiences on what might be the best place to start, some of the wins they could get if they do implement it the right way, and everything in between?
It's a good question. And the danger sometimes is, and we see this a lot, which is we start from the tech point of view, as opposed to, and this is the difference between like startups and big organizations who've gone and invested via IT departments in millions and millions of dollars and pounds in terms of, various stacks, when actually standing back and say, actually, what is the customer problem we're really trying to fix from the outset? And quantifying, what that is, because there are going to be many pain points on a customer's experience with a brand or customer journey. And the danger is we're trying to fix it all at the same time. So it's standing back, first of all, before you make these investments, say, so what is the problem we're really trying to fix? And is there a time span on it? And what is the data sets that we have? And can we utilize those data sets? And from that, you can then start to define a really clear, manageable strategy that can be implemented and attainable over a period of time. And then also with that, do I have an organizational design that can deliver on that structure as well? And then from that, you can then start to get into the tech solutions in terms of which are applicable and realistically for you to implement at that particular time. And also tech solutions that are agnostic and you haven't got just one size that try and fits all, because sometimes you'll need various solutions. So I think the biggest advice I can do, and this is just from painful experience of working with some big brands who spent years and years in investing in, and I can go back, crikey, 5 or 6 years now, I can see the meeting. Financial services clients in Europe said, we spend millions and millions on this Adobe solution without saying who it is. What do I do with it? And whereas we kind of say, what's the customer problem we're trying to fix first? And then we can build around it. And I think that would be, and that's easy for me to say because I haven't got the pressure working on the client side. But I think understand that client problem first, and then really working out what are the right solutions technically to fix that is where I think we need to get, would be helpful direction for many brands today.
Do you think, Marco, a CMO should consider creating an innovation center that is agnostic of channel and responsibility as if they're their own startup? Because in our big brands that we work with, you keep referencing the silo, the conflicts, the investments versus, hey, I'm going to empower 3 people to define the problem and let them work out versus have to deal with the politics. Have you ever seen that work within a big brand?
So 2 things. First, on your point, funny, when I was waffling on then, I was going to say that, but I thought I better stop to give you a chance to say something. Because I was going to say just that. And I think there's sometimes the challenge to say, look, you can't do it all. So, take a slice of the budget and, and take it off the side and create a COE or innovation lab to see whether you can work. We're going to work on certain segments and then prove the business case, because ultimately it's all about the numbers at the end of the day, and do exactly that. Have I seen it? In all honesty, guys, I've not seen it. I've seen it talked about a lot, but I've not seen the evidence of it happening. And I think that's the opportunity, for brands like Kern and others, and also clients, would say, right, this is what we're going to do. We were talking about just the other day with one of our automotive clients in the US, said, look, how do we get, 5%, 10% of the budget to do the innovation we talk about? Yeah. And so, but then you get caught up in the treadmill of the numbers. Yeah. But that is, and that's why I think clients, quite right, look to us as agencies to say, okay, you guys, you haven't got all the crap to deal with that clients have so much internal stuff to deal with today. I think it's on us as agency leaders and brands and the agency world to make that happen for our clients, or certainly be provocative in prodding that direction.
From my perspective, we are at the start of the 4th industrial revolution, and that we cannot pretend that things are going to come that we don't know about, whether it be blockchain, Bitcoin, NFT. And so not pretending that you need to be innovative and giving yourself that space is setting yourself up for not succeeding, because a new world is upon us. It's hard to see, but it's here.
It is. And you know what, Russell, one of the things I just did this interview the other day, actually, on something else. I said, this is why, even being around a while, as you said at the beginning, this is, for me, it's like the best time to be in business. It's like, you can, everyone's talking about Web3, that's the new thing at the moment, but, there's nothing stopping us inventing the new platform of the future, the new engagement strategy. That's the great thing today. We can create whatever we want. Because there is all the technology, all the data there. There are no barriers. Before, it was very much, there are these 3 or 4 things you could do in the old CRM world. But today, you can do anything. You can create whatever the engagement model is, because the technology and the artificial intelligence is all there. So this is a great time to be in business, particularly for our industry as well.
Yeah. Elliot, did you have a follow-up? Because I do have 1 or 2 closing.
Yeah, I have one question. We kind of started talking about a little bit, but as you use the word CRM, do you still think that the term customer relationship management is relevant today, given all that we're talking about?
I do. I'm a bit of a set, because again, I've always been brought up, listen more than you talk. You might not believe that. And when I listen to my clients, everyone still talks CRM because it says what it says in the title. It's customer relationship management, CRM. But it's how you interpret CRM is relevance today. So I don't think we'll see the term CRM disappear in the next few years. It's more about, so what does that really mean in today's world of marketing? So the importance is the nuances and how we articulate it and how we tell the story as a result of it. And that is about personalization. That is about nuances. That is about how we use neuroscience to create those better relationships between customers and managing the brand and so forth. So I suspect it's going to be around for a while. And we shouldn't, I think some people, it's a bit old school. You know what? Russell knows this. Everyone says, hey, it's the death of direct mail. Direct mail still drives top line growth for clients. At the end of the day, that's what all marketers and agency leaders, we need growth. Yeah,
we need growth. So we know the journey to personalized marketing with nuance is not easy. Why? What are the numbers that you've seen? Why should a CMO take this journey? What type of return on investment? What type of market dominance can they win? Why are our global automotives going with us to accomplish? Share what you can on that.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And I think you touched on automotive there. I think it's the same for certainly in financial services as well. There's no doubt across the US, I've seen the UK and in Asia, big brands that have invested. And the good thing about financial services and automotive, because they've been flush with data for many, and telecoms as well. This is not, a new gain to them. So they've always been in the world of utilizing data to optimize engagement, response engagement, and retention. And what we're definitely now seeing, more efficiency in that ability to go to market with customers and respond in real time. And there is no doubt efficiency from the point of view of less wastage in terms of maybe not just the engagement model at a communication level, but also in terms of the resources that are being used to deploy it. And there's no doubt about it, the numbers we're seeing 3-4-fold the revenue gains as a result of those activities. And with it too, is what we're not seeing is a significant increase in marketing budgets, but what we are definitely seeing is a significant shift from, say, I've seen some cases where we had maybe, personalization and a data-driven work maybe accountable 30% of a client's budget. Now it's moving from 30% to 70%.
Wow, those are big
shifts.
In
some cases, in the automotive segment, I've heard clients talk about saying, we're expected to be up to 100% in 5 years' time, because they know it's going to be about accessibility and engagement. So there's no doubt about the pendulum as well moved.
So let's just wrap up, which is, if you had to summarize advice, 3 points of advice to CMOs, what would you tell them? Ladies and gentlemen, you CMOs, here's 3 bits of wisdom that I want to recommend to you for this year.
So I would say, don't panic. It's a long journey. And what I mean by that is just stand back and just figure out what is the customer problem you're really trying to solve first. Because there are many, aspects of a customer problem to fix. And the danger is we try and fix everything. Mm-hmm. So I would really spend quality time understanding the problem that needs to be fixed. Where is the biggest pain point in the customer's experience with the brand? Because that's what defines, the narrative in the marketplace. And then from that, defining a really clear, manageable strategy to deliver against fixing that problem. When I say manageable strategy, I mean by that, one that is attainable over a period of time and, not overcommitting. And then thirdly, do you have the organizational design to deliver that? And I think that really is the crux, because all the technologies out there, all the data warehouse solutions are out there, the measurement techniques are all out there, but it's defining the problem. That's where you really need strategic partners to understand what is I'm trying to fix and a manageable strategy to get there and the organizational design to deliver against it as a business. Because, the rest of the tech solutions, said before, the measurement platforms, they're all out there.
Yeah.
But it's the thinking bit which is really important, as opposed to jumping into it from day one.
And the funny thing is, we at Omnicom, when we go to Omnicom University, what do our professors teach us from Harvard? Culture eats strategy for lunch.
Yeah.
And so, as you say, is if you don't have organizational design, the culture to adapt, the openness within the silos, the flexibility to implement, it doesn't matter how many little tech tools you stack up. It will not matter.
No,
So,
I agree. And and ultimately as well, we never lose focus of, we know, and same for us as leaders of our businesses, for our clients, is their success is going to be predicated on generating revenue, and growing year and year. It's that simple. So how do I do that? You got to sometimes stand back.
Generate results. So Marco, I am honored. Thank you. Thank you for your time and your wisdom and your information. And on behalf of all of our listeners and on behalf of Elliot and myself, thank you for listening today. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any other future episodes. And until next time, I'm Russell Kern.
The Continuous Revenue Marketer has been brought to you by Kern, an Omnicom precision marketing agency that helps Fortune 500 companies increase revenue from customer acquisition to loyalty through personalization at speed and scale. For more information, please visit kernagency.com.